Welcome back to TNT. Tonight we're just going to be having some basic general discussions about the Bible. We'll have the phone lines open in just a few, so sit tight. We will be right back. Welcome to Knock Talk. I'm your host, William Hall, broadcasting live out of Kingsland, Texas, USA, with another episode of TNT, the Twisted New Testament, with Rabbi Stuart Federow. Welcome back, Rabbi. Oh, shoot, hang on a second. Let me get my music down. Let me recall that again real fast. Hang on 1 second. Where's my call button? Oh, there it is. Cool. Anyway, so yeah, it's been a long week, man. I'll tell you what, I'm really, really glad to be back in the studio with this guy. He's reconnected. Crazy guy. Hey, David. David. Do me a favor, come here real fast. Hang on. Answer that phone call when he comes in. What's up, everybody? Hey! It's 8:15, I know. So I'm not wearing headphones.
Neither am I.
But we know you can hear, because... Oh, wait. Yep, check 1, 2. Okay, hold on. Wait. Okay, now try it again. Okay, now you can hear us. Okay, I forgot to turn that mic back up. Okay, so anyway, special show tonight. Rabbi is just a wild and crazy guy. So he called me. I'm in here putting studio foam up, and he calls me on the phone like he does every week. And he's like, "Hey, William," he goes, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm setting up for the show. I should be ready in 20 minutes," which is about 20 minutes whenever this happened, right?
Yep.
And so I'm sitting here and we're just talking. He goes, "Hey," he goes, "I need to ask a really, really big favor of you." And I'm like, "Sure, anything you want." He goes, "Can I please use your bathroom?" And I was like, "Bathroom? Wait, are you outside?" I had no idea.
So there was like a 5-second pause. I could hear the wood burning. Wait a minute. If he wants to use the bathroom, he's got to be here to use the bathroom. Oh my God.
That was awesome. Funny. That was awesome.
Yes. Thank you.
Great surprise.
We try our best.
Great surprise for the week. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm going to use my phone for the callers. You guys can probably try to call in, and I'll see if I can answer. I think I can. If I don't, we'll turn it on over there. I've got David working in the studio. David, you can switch to the other screen and wave at everybody if you want to. Hit the space bar. Nope. Yep. And wave at everybody. Hi. David's co-hosting today. All right, now you can switch back. So if this doesn't work, then I'll actually turn on the phone lines, and I'll just have to show him how to actually do that. So let me get my volume turned up. And so, yeah, there we go. We'll see what happens here. Well, the worst case scenario, I could always just play some voicemail, just see. I mean, yeah.
You mean let him leave a message and then?
No, I mean,
I hope I don't have to do that.
No, like here. Oh, I bet this guy's calling for. I bet this guy here is actually calling for Metashare. Let's see what he said. Nope, wrong one. Hold on. Right here. This is just a... Well, actually, how do you put it on speakerphone? Well, maybe that won't work, because if I can't put it on speakerphone...
Why can't
oh,
you
it's on Bluetooth. Hang on. I don't know. I've never tried it before. Let's go back. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, I'm going to try this. Bear with me. This is worth it. If we can make this work, this will be worth it. Here, hang on. Let me try that again. And there's no...
Meanwhile, while you're doing that...
there we go.
Reaching out to you. I'm actually out in the Dallas area right now. I was actually just having a question. Maybe you can kind of guide me in the right direction. I've called a few places, and the people don't seem very enthusiastic about me going over there. Anyway, I'm just kind of looking for a place maybe to do some Torah studies around here in the Dallas area. I'm actually on the south side of Dallas over here.
Okay, so I don't know who's this, but from time to time we get calls, and it's really nice. I just wish we got calls from people who are close by. You know,
well, Dallas isn't that far, but it doesn't help him, and he's not going to come here.
No, it's 3.5 hours.
Not going to come to Houston either.
It's 3.5 hours. So, Okay, so if you guys want to call 855-952-4253. That's the number.
Put it up on the.
Let me see if I can do that. David, I don't have it up right. Select right here. Actually, open this up. Hit that arrow. Right there. Click it open. There you go. Now, click right here. Switch screens. Right down here. There you go. Make that go. Okay, now we got David in training right here. Okay, so now, okay, you've got this open. Wait, here. Click on this. Now click here on the three dots. And now click on Tyler Live when it pops up. And it'll show up over here on the right. Okay, and once it does, then all you have to do is hit right there, this yellow triangle right there. Boom, baby. Now you can switch back to the other screen. Yay. Man, this is so much fun. We have never done anything crazy like this yet, and this is the first
We're
time
wild
in
and
the new
crazy
studio.
guys. See, they're too young to even know what that
Oh
means.
my, wild and crazy guys. Oh, this is great, man. I'll tell you what. This is really cool. This is actually working. I was worried about headphones, but I don't need to hear unless...
Well, if they call
Yeah.
in, we're going to have to figure out a way to...
No, because I can just do sign. I'll have them sign it, and I'll use ESP or telepathy.
Oh,
and I'll
yes,
try to
right.
figure out what... I'm just kidding.
Well, no, the Holy Spirit will tell you what to do.
That's naughty. Oh, my. Goodness gracious. Okay, so let's see if there's any... So you guys call in and say hi. I think I'm logged in. Let me just make sure that I'm logged in. I've never used my phone for the show before.
Neither
so,
have I.
You know what? Let's just go ahead and log in. How about that? Switch screens. Okay.
Meanwhile, they're waiting for the show to begin.
Yeah. It hadn't started yet? Yeah, it started. Okay, good.
That's not what I meant.
Oh, the actual content part. Okay, so let's go here. And we'll just have David take the call and he can repeat the question if we have to. Oh, we didn't turn the room. Why is the room speaker not up?
Hello?
Oh, yeah, I guess it is a little bit. Okay, cool. Oh, that's too much. There we go. Okay, good. All right, and we're going to sign in. Y'all bear with us. Hey, this is worth it, though. You guys sit tight, right? Switch screens. There you go. Right there for a second. And then we'll put here. Talk about on the fly. I had like no preparation for doing an in-studio feature tonight. So.
Oh, cool. I can see the chat.
Oh, Kenny, cool, man. Nice. Okay, we are officially logged in. David, this right here is the caller.
Okay.
We're going to turn it up about there. Whenever you hear it ring, use your mouse and here and come over here and hit answer. Okay. I probably won't be able to hear them that good. So what? I wonder how long these headphones are. Can I see those for a second? I bet you. Hold on.
By the way,
know
Missouri Reaper, did I ever ask you where in Missouri
I got this.
you're at?
Hey, look here. My headphones reach. Yeah, baby. So now I can hear it. Ha.
Wait, are there?
Your headphones.
Answer.
What?
Wrong mouse. All right, welcome to the show. Please tell us your name, where you're calling from. You are live on the air.
Yes, I'm calling about that MetaShare.
MetaShare. You know, I actually thought about if somebody actually said that one time and they were serious and I laughed at them, I was thinking, man, that probably hurt their feelings. Well, I'm glad you're not calling for MetaShare.
Federow, the answer is Bonne Terre, Missouri.
What is it?
The answer to his question, where in Missouri do I live? It's Bonne Terre, Missouri.
Bonne Terre, Missouri. Wow, very good.
Where was it?
Bonne Terre, Missouri.
Oh, okay.
Very good. Cool. So do you have a question for us? David, let me have that. If that's working, hold on. Let me have that. And I forgot we have two headphones. Rabbi needs to hear too. Yeah, so let's put this here.
It's a bit muffled hearing you guys.
That's okay. It'll be better here in just a minute. Sit tight. Okay, David, just
Take it on that side of him.
David, be careful and don't.
Take it on that side of him.
I'm going to, but I gotta get it untangled first.
Okay. With tangled webs.
So we may have to
Do you have a
scooch
photograph?
closer.
How's that?
We'll probably have to scooch a little closer. There you go.
I'm scooched.
Okay, now we can all hear you. That's good. Okay, so can you hear us better now when we get close to the microphone?
Oh yes.
Okay,
I can
so
hear you now.
it's actually just the distance. Okay, good deal. So go ahead, Brock. I'm sorry. Tell us your question.
You know, I have to remember what it is now. Yes. I have two questions. One related to the show and one related to the channel.
Okay.
The channel one, real quick, is when you can have the next Testimony Tuesday on. And the question for the rabbi is there a specific kosher way whenever you go fishing? I'm only asking because it's coming up pretty soon.
Okay, cool. We'll get right on it. Thanks for your questions. Oh, and the first question, Testimony Tuesdays, they are definitely going to happen. I've got about 30 people lined up.
Wow.
I just don't have time to do it yet. I've got to wait until I get all
30
this.
people, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and they're all like pastors or preachers' wives. or
Right,
something.
right.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Is
So-
that from when you did that survey?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Cool.
It sure did. So that's good. Okay, man, appreciate your call, bro.
Oh, wait, before you go, wait.
Okay.
Hello? Still there? Are you
Still here.
Okay, I wasn't quite clear on your question. What about fishing?
Is it kosher? Is there a kosher way to fish?
Well, I know I'm not allowed to go hunting because that's not the kashrut way of slaughtering the
right.
animal. Is fishing okay?
Fishing is okay because there's only one way to kill a fish, and that's pull it out of the water. Unless you're going to electrocute the fish.
Well, technically,
or
you
put
can
a bomb
cast-
in the water. But by and large, the way to catch a fish is pull it out of the water, which is unfortunate because it asphyxiates to death usually. But fishing just remember the fish itself that you catch. You can't eat it unless it's a kosher fish.
Right.
But beyond that, I don't think there's any restrictions or whatever. Because basically you're fishing. You're casting your net or the hook, but it's not the hook that kills the fish. It's pulling it out of the water.
I just thought of something else. Hang on. Keep talking.
All right.
Okay. Happy
All right,
fishing.
well, I guess I have one more similar question while I'm already on the
Take
line.
those off.
Okay.
Spin them around. Hang on just a second.
What about trapping?
No, just take them off and switch ears.
No, but the wire. Okay. Here.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. Say it again.
What about trapping?
Okay. It depends on the kind of trap you use. There's a concept in Judaism called tsa'ar ba'alei chayim. I guess literally it would be causing trouble to any animal. What it really means is cruelty to animals. And most traps that I know of are actually quite cruel. So you can, if the kind of trap you use doesn't grab a hold of their leg, but they walk into a structure and then they can't get out, but they're not being physically hurt, then I assume it would be okay. I don't know the rules of trapping or hunting or whatever, but the animal, if you hunt, if it's not killed according to shechita, to Jewish laws of slaughter, you can't eat it anyway. There's no reason to hunt. And do you remember the movie The Deer Hunter, where it starts out where they're hunting deer, and I think it's the father who says to the star of the show that unless you can kill it with the one bullet, don't shoot.
That's a good point.
You remember that? Did you see that?
I remember that.
Well, otherwise shooting can also be cruel. The way that Judaism ensures that if you're going to have to slaughter the animal, at least be as humane as you can be with it, then any other way besides the Jewish ritual way of slaughtering, and by ritual it means it's got to be done exactly the same way, properly every time, or you can't eat it, which pretty well means you're going to do it as carefully as possible, is because it means a more humane way of slaughtering, of killing the animal.
Another thought I was thinking of too when he asked the question, it seems like the best way, if you're going to fish, it seems like the best way to do it is, well, of course you can't cast net for bait fish. I mean for like game fish because it's illegal. That would be the best way to do it though, because then you're not putting a hook in their mouth. They're not stressing out and freaking out.
Right.
You simply gather them by net and then you keep them in a live well until you're ready to kill it.
I don't think a net would work too well with most game fish. I mean, they're going to...
I cannot tell you how many game fish I've caught and had to release with my cast net. Definitely. I've literally,
Really?
yeah, I've caught 2 or 3 like medium to small bass at a time before.
Remember the shark thing?
Oh.
Not shark. But
Yeah, I caught a shark. No, it wasn't a shark. It was a gar. But anyway.
No, you're the shark. No, just kidding.
So, but on that point, since you can't, if you catch it with a hook, which doesn't make them bleed. Of course, fish don't really bleed theoretically, but but when you
yeah,
do,
they do have blood and they can bleed, but
still keep them in a live well if you can, so that they're not suffocating on a
Right,
stringer or and that way they can just be comfortable
Right.
all the way up to the point. That'd
and
be
there
ideal.
is a place on the fish where you strike it.
Oh,
and
right.
it clop it on the head basically, and it kills it too.
Gotcha.
There's really not a whole lot of other ways besides
Not too
that
many
to
options,
kill.
right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, well, hope that answered your question, and I'm looking forward to Testimonial Tuesdays too as well. Thank you for calling.
All right, if you want, I actually do have one biblical question.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Well, I have a friend who constantly tells me that God says the Jews are the apple of his eye. She's a Christian, but yet the Christian Bible says, well, many opposite things. I'll just put it that way. Can you clarify on that a little bit? Then I'll hop off the phone.
I'm not sure.
yeah.
I'm not really sure. Where does it say that exactly?
Which one?
The apple of the eye. The apple of the eye part.
I know that's the Jews are the apple of God's eye. I know that's in the Tanakh somewhere.
Oh, in the
And,
top. I thought it said New Testament. Okay.
And I know in the Christian Bible it says in their portion that many opposite things about Jews,
Right.
synagogues of Satan, etc.
Right. We had
you,
a really good.
clarify that?
Yeah, we actually had a really good.
Deuteronomy 32:10.
We had a good conversation on that actually on Sunday with Rabbi
Right.
Tovia
Psalm
Singer.
17.
So that'd be a good show to refer us back to as well if you want. Okay, we're going to let you go and catch us
Proverbs
next
7
caller. Okay.
refers to Jewish law, God's law
David, go
as
ahead
the
and take
apple
next
of
call.
All right, have a good one.
Thanks. You too, bro.
Yep.
Bye. Hello, welcome to the show. You are live on the air. Please tell us your name, where you're calling from.
wait. Oh, answer.
Oh, there we go. Now you're live on the show. Please tell us your name, where you're calling from.
Hello.
Hello,
Yeah,
you.
I'm calling from Kings Mountain, North Carolina.
Oh, very good. Welcome to the show.
Welcome. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I had a question for the rabbi.
Okay.
If I can answer.
I had a question for Hebrew letters.
You called the right guy.
Called Hebrew.
Okay,
No, he
bait-
questioned
bait
about
and
Hebrew
bait-
letters.
Bait and bait.
Oh, yeah, bet. Right. Okay. Go ahead. What's your question regarding them?
Okay, well, what's the difference in bait and bait?
Okay. Well, that's a pretty simple, and he can handle that in about 10 seconds probably.
Hebrew letters.
Uh-huh. What's the difference between the bays and the
The bet and the vet.
Yeah.
Okay. Technically, there's no difference whatsoever. What happens is that grammar sometimes requires, for lack of a better term, the dot, dagesh, to be in the
dot.
the dot to be in the vet, which changes it into a bet. If it's the first letter of the word, okay, sometimes but not always, it's grammatical rules. If it begins a syllable, it has to have the dot in it. But the two letters are actually the exact same letter grammatically. There are 22 letters in the Hebrew alphabet. Not that it matters, but the word alphabet predates the word alphabet. But if you include like a bet and a vet as two separate letters, it raises it to 27. If you include the 5
finals
letters, so the letters at the end of the word, of the whole word, that raises it another 5 to 32. But technically speaking,
right.
There's only 22 letters.
Right, gotcha.
Right.
But so
but the difference is grammatical. In other words, if you have it is based on grammar.
Did that answer your question?
I've been learning beginner Hebrew, and like I had an argument with the guy the bait and the bait and the bait, and he said, well, it's the same. I'm like, well, I've been learning I'm a beginner in Hebrew, so I'm
sure.
Hey, but you've begun.
It looks the same. It looks the same, but the only difference is a dot.
Right, and the dot has to be there under certain certain circumstances, and it's grammatical rules that determine whether or not you put the dot there. So if it begins,
And then like the vowels. The vowels confuse me.
Aleph and Ayin. There really aren't any vowels. They're more like placeholders. They're more like vowel sounding placeholders.
what are?
Aleph and Ayin.
No. Aleph and Ayin both have, like a consonant, which they are consonants, they have sounds that you make. The problem is that you're not going to hear the sound most of the time, so the people are going to assume, therefore, they're silent. They're not silent.
Gotcha.
The Aleph has the sound of,
Like a very,
I don't even know if you can hear that.
I heard it. Yeah.
Okay, it's where the, for lack of a better term,
little dash underneath it is like,
Yeah, the patach.
yeah, like a kamatz or patach, whatever, you're going to hear.
and then you have the two little, the letter, the dot underneath it is bay.
No, the dots that you see underneath it, you have a tseri, a chirik, and a segol, and all three of those have.
Or shva, or
Yeah, you got the double shva, right?
but the sound of the Aleph is where the back of the throat, and for lack of a better term, the flesh, the skin of the back of your throat,
Yeah, the ha.
touches and lets go.
But the thing is, if there's an aleph and a segol, you only say eh.
Well,
Right.
but you didn't hear yourself.
I did hear it, but it's not so noticeable. You need to teach people how to do it because it comes out naturally.
Exactly. But to say that it's a silent letter is
Right.
equally incorrect.
I see. Okay.
Same thing with the ayin, and I'm not going to.
But the confusion I had was like with the mem and the samak.
Wait.
So
You said with the mem and the
he said-
samach?
Yeah. So he said, my teacher said, the mem always comes at the end of at the end.
No, a
And
mem sophete. See, a lot of the letters have a different form. If it's a last letter, like a mem, a regular mem, actually looks more kind of like a triangle, but it's open at the bottom with a little ear at the top. But a mem sophete is actually like a fully closed, and it's more square.
Right, and remember something.
And it looks a lot like the samach, which is what he's probably
Okay.
confused over.
Every year for Yom
Yeah,
Limmud
I get
Houston,
confused by the samak and the mem, because the mem, he said, comes at the end of the sentence.
Right.
And if samak will be in the middle.
right? But
Like,
well, that's
like
not
at my
always
head,
that's
but-
not always true. Sometimes the samach is at the end of a word, middle of the word, beginning of the word. Depends on the word. Here's a trick. Look. Every year for Yom Limmud Houston, I teach a 3-hour class called Hebrew Jumpstart. Learn how to read Hebrew in 3 hours. Okay. This last time was just a few weeks ago. It was recorded, and eventually I'm going to be giving William a copy of that, and I'm not sure what you're going to be able to do with it because I haven't seen it.
Okay.
But when you have a mem, there is, in the shape of the mem, a hole in the bottom.
Right.
And the hole in the bottom tells you that it's a m sound. The samach
right.
looks more like a circle.
Ah, yeah, right.
And because it
good.
looks like a circle,
Yeah.
it has the sound of S.
Right.
Of a
They tried
does it,
to,
excuse me,
make it
I made a
sound-
mistake. Hold it.
Go in a circle.
I made a mistake. It does not have the sound of an S. It has the sound of S. But if in your head you have to go from the symbol of the samach to the English letter S, and from the English letter S to the sound of S, you're adding a step to your brain you don't need. What you have to do is see the symbol, which is the samach, and say the sound that's associated with the symbol, which is S. But don't start equating them with English letters. You're adding a step to your memory. It will be a pain in the neck later on.
Very good.
Yeah,
Well, it sounds like you've learned a lot.
I'm coming from an English, thing, and I'm saying like sa and ma, and like with the letter, the dash underneath.
Let me tell you something real quick. I've got, I think, 6 or 8 classes that I did on my YouTube channel called Entry Level Biblical Hebrew. And you might find them quite handy. If you just go to the Tanakh Talk channel and just search Entry Level Biblical Hebrew, you'll see a playlist there, or go to the playlist and find it there. But there's like 6 or 8 videos there that goes over a lot of the really, really good basic elementary stuff you might find incredibly helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you Tim, and you, Tovia Singer, like, kind of brought me to Judaism, and kind of brought me away from Christianity, and I'd like to thank you guys for that. And, I don't know what that means, you know.
Yeah, that means a lot. I appreciate that. Thanks for letting us know. I mean, it's good to know. It's good to hear the feedback. I appreciate that.
Yes, it does.
For sure. Well, thank you so much for your call.
I converted last year.
Oh, cool.
So,
very cool. Congratulations.
Went through the mikvah, went through the Beit Din, and everything like that. I'd like to thank you guys for all that help. You know, I actually talk to you guys. You know, learn from you guys on the internet, and
that's wonderful.
I actually talk to Tovia Singer a lot.
Oh, good. That's awesome. Okay, brother. Well, thank you so much for your call. Really appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Okay, take care. Bye. Good job, David. Big round of applause for David, my co-host, David. Woo! He's headphoneless right now. Hey, David, is there a pair in the? Oh wait, we don't have an extra jack though. Sorry, kiddo. We got a double jack. We would turn the room speaker up, but it's going to feed back on us. Yeah. So. Okay, so phone lines are back open. We're just leaving the thing up on screen.
Yeah, that's what yeah. By the way, while we're waiting for someone else to call or nothing else to talk about.
L'chaim? I'm just kidding.
I'm driving tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Marcy.
Is she watching?
I hope so.
That would be cool if she was watching.
See, when I'm there, she hears it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but when I'm home, there's a phone call.
Very good. David, answer it. Use your mic. Go ahead.
Hello?
Welcome to the show. Hi. You're live on the air.
Hi, this is Evan from Lake Mary.
Hello, Evan from Lake Mary. Pleasure having you on the show.
Lake Mary,
tonight.
Texas?
Is that Lake Mary, Texas?
Hi, Lake Mary, Florida.
Florida.
Oh.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so I got a question. So in the Christian Bible, specifically in John 10, chapter 31, where
David,
it's talking about how
John 10:31. I'm having my son pull it up on screen for us.
Go ahead.
And it's talking about how the Yeshua's encounter with the Jews, and I'm reading here, and it says, "I said, you are gods," and apparently that is in reference to Psalms 82. I would like to get some more context for that, if it's all right.
Okay, sure. First of all, okay. As a Christian, you are going to have to believe that the events taking place in John 10 actually occurred. Okay? I don't necessarily see it that way, but be that as it may. Remember something. The word God or gods is rooted in the Hebrew Aleph Lamed. And as a root sound, a root word, that word means power. And so wherever this is coming from, because I didn't hear your reference, but I'll ask for it in a minute so I can look it up. But what they're saying is you are powers. Remember when Moses, God says to Moses, I will make you an Elohim to Pharaoh. He's not saying that Pharaoh's going to bow down to Moses. What he's saying is that Moses is going to be perceived by Pharaoh to be having great power. Also, you have the word Elohim, which probably is the word that this is referring to in verse 34, John 10:34. It's probably using the same word Elohim. But remember also in the Ten Commandments, the gods you're not supposed to have, instead of God, the word for those gods you're not supposed to have is also Elohim. So Elohim also refers to idolatrous gods.
Right. So it's more of a title of a position
of power. It's also used in I hate when I do this. It's also in the Torah where it's referring to judges, because judges have power. Okay, now tell me where this refers to. You said it's is it not written in your law? I said
Psalms 82.
I'm sorry, what?
Psalm 82.
Psalm 82.
Okay, now wait. You just said
Well, he mentioned John first, but he said it's a parallel.
no, but
theoretically.
in John 10:34,
I
Jesus
didn't
is
say-
saying, "Is it not written in your law?" Law, when Jesus uses the term, usually means Torah, even though the word Torah does not mean law. Torah means teaching. Okay, but usually when he uses the word law, what he's referring to is the Torah, but you're saying this actually comes from Proverbs.
No, Psalm.
I'm sorry, Psalms.
Psalm 82.
Psalms, Proverbs. Okay.
You're doing a good job, dude. David's like clicking, pulling Bible verses.
Wait, which
up
one?
and
What
stuff.
was it in?
Psalm 82.
82.
I believe it's verse 6.
Verse
Wait,
6.
Okay, Psalm 82, verse 6.
David, read that. What did
Okay.
you say?
I have said you are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. Notice that says all of you, because in Exodus chapter 4, around the 25th, somewhere around there, verse, God says to Moses to tell Pharaoh that the children of Israel are the firstborn of God. Okay, so let me check Tanakh, and it says, MRT. Yeah, right. It still uses the word Elohim, which is the same word which is derived from the word power, and here it means powers, and like Marcy Powers. No, just kidding. It doesn't mean you're God or gods. It means that you are going to be seen as powerful.
It sounds like as if it's Hashem is giving us the opportunity to give us this free will, because most of Christianity, from what I've experienced, has everything to do with like someone else has to be in between you and Hashem.
And that's true, and that's unfortunate, because God wants us to have a very close relationship directly with God and not have to go through a vice president in charge of human affairs.
Mm-hmm.
Vice president in charge of human affairs. See, I can say that, and I can actually see your reaction instead of waiting for the screen 30 seconds later.
Oh, yeah, no kidding, right? Well, cool. That's a great question, though. Thank you so much.
Right, but did you
Well, thank you.
The Hebrew Scriptures and Judaism believe wholeheartedly in free will.
Right.
Okay. There's a passage in, let's take the call. Passage in Genesis where it becomes rather evident.
This is really addicting. I cannot believe this is the most relaxing show I've ever got to do.
Right, because you've got David working.
Yeah, color on you.
Work, David, work.
Yeah, and he's doing a great job. It's like
Yes, he is.
I told him once, and it's like he's automatically like clinging to all this stuff. He's
Yep.
really doing a great job.
All right, so caller.
David, you switch screens.
Oh, yes.
No, other mouse. There you go.
Caller.
Caller, can you hear us? You're live on the air.
Yeah, me again.
Oh.
Hi again.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. Glad to be here. My favorite place to hang out.
All right.
Anyways, this is a question for the rabbi.
Okay, great.
In Judaism, who is the Satan? Does he have a free will? And could he, if he rebelled against God? Or would he even have the capability to do so? I'm going to hop off the phone so you can answer.
Okay, cool. Great,
Okay.
great questions. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, first of all,
David, you can hang up. Other mouse.
It's always the Satan in the Hebrew. I think every time except maybe once. When it refers to an entity known as the Satan, it always says Hasatan, the Satan. That's one thing. Second of all, you will note from the book of Job, by the way, in the Hebrew Scriptures, the Satan is only referenced like in 4 different books, and it's exceptionally rare in those books. Okay, that's one thing. And the New Testament is referenced all over the place.
Other one.
I'm going to have to put them on hold.
Other mouse.
Okay. And
Now go ahead and answer, but just turn the mic down.
notice in the book of Job, the Satan is already in heaven, still in heaven. He's wandering around heaven with the other angels, which means the Satan is, in fact, an angel working for God, not against God. And the Satan is like a district attorney, prosecuting attorney, who is pulling sting operations on human beings to figure out if they're really good. So the Satan works for God, not against God. The idea that the Satan has power in and of himself is making 2 gods. That's called polytheism, no longer monotheism. The Satan gets his walking order. No, is that what they're called? Walking orders?
Maybe I've heard that before.
Okay.
Marching orders.
Marching orders.
Marching
Thank you. I
orders.
was close.
Yeah, just
Marching orders from God. And like any other angel, has no free will except to do the will of God and carry out God's orders. But notice that the Satan, when he wants to do something like an explicit sting operation, has to get permission to do so from God. So he has got no power, no authority on his own, works for God like the DA works for the judge. In this case, God is the judge. If you go to Zechariah, I think it's 3, you'll see what looks like the end of a court case, like Law and Order at the end, okay, where God is the judge, sides for the defense, because the Satan is accusing Joshua the high priest of not being worthy to go back to Israel to reestablish the temple. And God says that because he's been in exile, he is like a brand plucked out of the fire, which means purified, and God sides for the defense against the prosecuting attorney, which is the Satan. So no, he's got no will of his own. He has to do the will of God. He doesn't fight against God for souls, which, by the way, I'm looking at this gorgeous conglomeration of computers and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different screens and a massive board with about 1,000 different buttons on it, okay? But I don't have permission to sell Williams electronic stuff. I don't own it. The Bible explicitly makes it clear that our souls belong to God, and the idea of, well, I sold my soul to the devil, you can't sell your soul to the devil because you don't own your soul. That's like me taking Williams electronics and going to a pawn shop and selling it. Hey, that's not a bad idea. No, just kidding. So I hope is that a full enough answer? I think
that sounds
got all
good.
those points.
We could do like 2 or 3 shows on this. So in a basic summary, I think that was good. Can Satan rebel against God?
No.
There you go. Short and sweet.
And by the way, where does that come from? Ras Shamra is a place in Canaan. It's the old Canaanite religions. They talk about Athtar, 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 and in the Rashamra texts, which are texts they found based on, and they were written by the Canaanite people going back well before the Jews came into Canaan, and it talks about Athtar rebelling against Baal. You may remember the name Baal from the pagan god, okay? And he tried to take over from Baal, but he wasn't big enough to fit on the throne of Baal, much less powerful enough to do what Baal does, and he got demoted, shall we say, to be the king of the underworld. Sound familiar? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's where the devil concept comes from.
Interesting.
Paganism.
Interesting.
So,
okay, David,
hope that answered his question.
Good in terms of caller, David. All right, caller, you are live on the air. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, this is Joe from Evansville, Indiana.
Hello, Joe.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Hey, Rabbi. So good to see you tonight. And
Yeah.
I know William has gotten a great surprise by seeing you come in.
That was the funniest thing. I'm telling you, it was like 5 seconds of dead silence when I said, "Can I use your bathroom?" Wait a minute. Wait. You're here?
Well,
that was awesome.
It ain't every day you get a rabbi to show up at your door.
I mean, right on.
I'm here.
So he's really blessed. But listen, I got a question for William, but it's for you. Maybe William could put this, if he could go through all the rabbis, the guests that he has, it's about Sadaqa.
Okay.
You know, I would like for maybe you guys to put where you do your Sadaqa at. That way, maybe it would give the audience a chance to see where are some good places where they could, give. But my question, biblical question, really had to do with, it's no doubt I can see the fallacy of the New Testament. I mean, it's once you see it, you can't miss it. But in Exodus, the 24th chapter, I think it's 10 and 11, when they're at the mountain,
David.
and it talks about the elders saw the the
Exodus
Elohim
24:10.
of Israel, and under his feet was like a lapis or something like that, I think, and they sat down and ate. That has always just been a, wanting to get an understanding of that scripture.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Now, one thing I've heard, because I was kind of concerned about that Sadaqa thing too one time, and I asked Rabbi Singer this, and he said, first of all, if you're not Jewish, for one thing, he goes your first two options, really your two best options are one of two things. You can give Sadaqa to wherever you're learning from, wherever you're getting your spiritual food from, or actually find poor people in your town and buy them food, or pay their electric bill, or do something a kind thing to people that's within your community. That way they're not just faking it, but if you know people and they're hurting, go to them and just help them out. You know what I mean? And that's a really good form of Sadaqa for sure.
Let me add something to that. Judaism believes that one gives tzedakah going outward from the innermost circle. So you think of concentric circles, circle around a circle around a circle around a circle. The most innermost circle is yourself and your own immediate family. These are the people you take care of first, okay? In the outer circle, the next circle going outward would be not your immediate family, but your family, okay? Cousins, aunts, uncles, whatever, okay? Grandparents if they need it, grandchildren, okay? The next circle out would be your local neighborhood, okay? Your next circle might be your city, it might be your county, it might be, but you have to take care of the innermost circles first. And it is no less tzedakah to give, to have your, I don't know what, your help a grandchild through college or that don't think that just because they're family, it's no longer tzedakah. Tzedakah is for the orphan, the widow, the poor, and the stranger. Well, sometimes family they need help. Okay. But by making the inner circle the most important and then moving outward, okay, what happens is that people, because they see it close to home first, understand and relate when it's an outer circle. Those groups, which tend to be the religious groups, obviously, okay, are more likely to give to those outside their group because they've been taught that they start with the innermost group. They therefore understand that the innermost group may have needs, which tells them that outer groups have needs too. Okay? So it's not just helping Jewish National Fund to plant trees in Israel. Okay, it's also helping family. It's also helping the people in the more inner circles. Also, I'm sure, obviously, I don't have to say, I know you've heard the word tithe before of 10%, but tithing was a very specific donation, giving only a few times and giving to the priesthood and the temple and all this stuff. And that explicit tithing cannot be done today. But what happened is tzedakah, the act, which is not charity. Tzedakah is not charity. Tzedakah is doing the right thing, righteousness. Okay, it's a totally different approach to giving than what we find in Christianity. And the best example I can give you is, and you may have heard me say this on Tanakh Talk before, two doctors share a practice. One is called Dr. Mind, one is called Dr. Heart. They make exactly the same amount of money. They divide all profits at the end of the year. And they make the same amount of money. That's not the issue. A woman comes into their practice one day, gives the most horrid sob story you've ever heard. Dr. Hart, because his heart moves him, makes a check to her for $500. Dr. Mind is not moved at all by her story, but because he knows he must give, takes a check and writes a check for $500. Right. So you've heard the story. Mm-hmm. In Judaism,
yes, sir.
In Judaism, Dr. Mind did the higher deed because what if his heart doesn't move? Dr. Hart, when his heart isn't moved, he doesn't give. But Dr. Mind, even when he's not touched by the needs out there, still gives because he understands he's commanded by his God to give. Tzedakah is not a heart thing. Charity, which I think is Latin from cor, like French cor, meaning heart, comes from the heart. I could be wrong about that. I have to look that up. But tzedakah comes from tzedek, doing the right thing, being a righteous person, because it's the right thing to do. And the right thing to do is to be done even when your heart doesn't move you.
Nice.
So there's a really big different approach on tzedakah than you have on charity.
Awesome.
And I would just say that lesson that you just gave right there is one of the lessons that I learned by listening to Tanakh Talk, was listening to you saying we don't follow our heart, we follow our mind. So that was one of the first lessons I could say I learned, was basically from you. So but on that Exodus 24,
yes.
10 and 11.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I'm not quite sure what you're looking for here because I scanned through it while William was talking to you, but they're eating and drinking. Okay, Moses gets called up from there. What's your question? That's where they're.
Yeah, they said, in that scripture, I think it says they saw the God of Israel. That's I think that's King James though, but they saw the God of Israel, and under his feet was like a lapis.
I don't see that here.
I was trying to get the understanding. Is this an angel? Or is this, what is it? Because he said, in Deuteronomy chapter 4, you saw no similitude.
Right.
You saw no form. So I'm trying to get the understanding of what is it that they're seeing.
Well, like a boat or ship in the water has a wake behind it. It could be it could mean that they saw the effect of God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It doesn't have to be taken literally that they actually saw God's face. There's a line in Genesis where God is walking in the Garden of Eden in the cool of the day. So does God have a big toe? Our image of God is that God is spiritual. Okay, so it could mean that they had an inkling of what that spirituality, that feeling that God's presence was with them. I wouldn't take that part literally.
Right, and something that I've always thought of too was whenever it's referring to the part where Moses, saw God and things like that. It says if you read the text, it says that he spoke to Moses face to face like a person would speak to his friend.
Right.
But the influence isn't on the visibility; it's on the voice. Right? And so when he says he spoke face to face, that too is metaphoric in a sense, meaning that God spoke to him as a live person would talk to his friend sitting at a table, right? And then
it's like you and I are talking now. I can't see your face, but if we're talking, if we're talking deeply, deeply about things with each other, we may as well be face to face.
Well, and the thing is too, it says that with other prophets, it says he comes to them in visions